Sunday evening, just 4 or 5 hours before the killings, O.J. Simpson and his ex-wife Nicole attend a dance recital for their daughter. Later that night, Nicole dines at a Brentwood neighborhood restaurant with her children, with friends, but without O.J. Restaurant workers say Nicole accidentally leaves a pair of glasses behind. Ronald Goldman, a 25-year-old waiter at the restaurant and a friend of Nicole's, volunteers to drop them off. At 9:45, he leaves the restaurant for her Brentwood townhouse. There, sometime between 10 and 11 o'clock Sunday night, according to unnamed sources, someone stabs Ronald Goldman and Nicole Simpson to death. The Simpsons' 2 children are asleep inside. One of O.J. Simpson's attorneys says the killer was not O.J.
At the time that this murder took place, O.J. was at home awaiting to get into a limousine to take him to the airport.
About an hour after the killings, O.J. takes an overnight flight to Chicago and checks into this hotel early Monday morning. Just 2 hours later, Los Angeles police call him in Chicago, notify him of the killings, and O.J. flies right back. He returns to his Brentwood mansion, and almost immediately, police handcuff him. They take him to headquarters for 3.5 hours of questioning and then release him.
Everyone is a witness at this point. No one has been arrested. No one has been charged.
But on Tuesday, unnamed sources tell the Los Angeles Times that O.J. is a suspect in the killings, the only suspect. The sources say it appears Ronald Goldman put up a fight before being killed, perhaps scratched Simpson. The sources say police found a bloody glove at Simpson's mansion and that it matches a second glove found near the bodies. They report blood on his driveway, blood in his car, blood on pillowcases in his Chicago hotel. The reports anger Simpson's attorney.
His wife has been murdered. He comes back to Los Angeles to provide any input that he can to law enforcement, and now rumors and speculation somehow have him involved with this tragedy.
More than 100 reporters and camera people surround Simpson's mansion on Wednesday, but somehow Simpson slips out to visit his children and attend a private service for his ex-wife. The family of Ronald Goldman calls a press conference. They want the world to know their son was more than just a waiter.
I love my son dearly.
We're gonna miss him a lot.
And we'll miss him.
Yesterday, Ronald Goldman is buried in the Agoura Hills. And yesterday, as speculation about Simpson's imminent arrest increases, he attends his ex-wife's funeral. He stands next to Nicole's family as Nicole's casket is wheeled by. He holds hands with his children and gives them a kiss. Randy Shandabel for the 10 o'clock news.
That O.J. Simpson went to his ex-wife's townhouse intending to kill her. That he had brought a knife, like this, with him. That waiter Ron Goldman came by with Nicole's mother's glasses. It was about 10 p.m. That Simpson first stabbed to death a struggling Goldman and then slashed the throat of Nicole Simpson. That O.J. Simpson wore these gloves, dropped this left-hand glove at the scene, and then in the struggle cut his left middle finger. That blood from that cut dripped to the left of Simpson's bloody shoe prints leading from the murder scene to O.J.'s white Bronco parked nearby, and that his cut finger left this stain on the door of the Bronco. That when Simpson arrived at his mansion sometime after 10:25, He saw a limousine waiting for him at the other entrance. He parked the Bronco here on Rockingham. That he left a trail of blood on the driveway as he went toward the house. That somehow he left this right-hand glove behind the guest house area, making thumping sounds around 10:40. That some 17 minutes later, the limo driver saw Simpson run back to the main house, that Simpson quickly cleaned up, took a bag full of bloody evidence, and got in the limousine for his flight to Chicago. That most importantly, it's reasonable someone else killed Nicole Simpson and Ron Goldman. That even if O.J. Simpson owned a knife like the murder weapon, so could many others. That it's just not reasonable the tiny cut on O.J.'s finger could have bled so profusely as the drips indicate. That police did not follow proper procedures handling the evidence. That even the scientific evidence does not prove O.J. Simpson was at the murder scene. That the blood could be someone else's. The blood type, the proteins, the markers do not conclusively prove it was O.J. Simpson's. Even in DNA tests, there is room for error and doubt. That the stain on the outside of the Bronco could easily have been left by someone passing by. That the stains on the driveway could have been someone else's or left by O.J. at some other time. That the apparently damning second glove could have been tossed over a wall by the real killer or even by an unscrupulous investigator attempting to implicate O.J. That O.J. Simpson's so-called alibi that he overslept and was late for the limousine ride is not contradicted by any evidence and is entirely consistent with his appearance and demeanor, calm and affable in the limousine and on the flight to Chicago. That his behavior at the Chicago hotel after talking to police the next morning is also consistent with someone who was just lost